Hello everyone, this is Jagtar Shergal from School of Gratitude. Today I have a guest into my studio, Shay Shibber. Shay Shibber. So Shay is in real estate for a long time. So I will just ask her to introduce herself in her own words, like when did she started in the business and how the real estate market is going for new home buyers, first time buyers, and also bidding wars. So we'll talk lot about today's market and what you can learn from Shay to make your decision regarding buying a home or selling. So Shay, thank you very much for coming to my studio and going to share some tips to our viewers. So tell me about yourself first, like when did you started in this business and how passionate you are in it.
Thank you, Jagtar, for having me here. My name is Shay Chibar, and I have been in real estate for past almost 30 years. Honestly, I started real estate just as a hobby, right? Because I loved the architect, the decor, and all those things. I always loved it. And I'm sorry, I'll just take it a little bit down. So as I was mentioning, I love the architect and I love the decor. I like the decorations and all that. So that's where actually it started way back when I was very young. My brother was an architect.
I see.
And he used to do because basically make the plans, and then when he used to come home, we used to sit down and then, he used to talk about the decor. And I used to start changing around in my own house, Okay, I would tell him, well, if we do this color here, and I do this color there, and I can put the cushions there, and this thing, that's how it all started. And having a bit of I'm not an artist, but I still have a flair to that. And that's how it basically started in me. And when I came here, it wasn't too much, but the more I got into it, I kind of started getting a feel to it that it was an urge that I should get into it. So I started part-time. Now I'm a full-time. I love doing it. I love meeting with the people. I love talking about the homes. I like the decors. And then, you know what, I like to educate people. And I get that feeling when they buy the house and they have moved in, or it's their first paper they are signing, their mortgage approval, and how they, the expressions they have, the gratitude they feel, the pride in them, that actually gives me more of an incentive to work. So I feel that I'm doing something for community, for the people who really want to have something. Let me be the guide to help them maneuver and realize their dreams. And that's the reason I have named my website also Dream Homes with Shay.
Dream Homes with Shay. Wow, that's nice. Now she helped me to sell my home first, then also bought my home through Shay. Thank you, Shay, for helping me out. So, what do you tell in today's market? A lot of people are thinking that they are will not afford it, especially millennials, like young people who are going into job market, plus they don't have enough down payment. There's bidding wars going on, and people, how can they get into market? People who have not enough money, but they still want to get in there and in this kind of market.
Thank you, Jagtar. You touched a very, very important and a very good question. But to your surprise, let me tell you about, the millennials. You would see about 80% of them, roughly I'm quoting, approximately, they are already into the market. They have already owned the home. They're owning the homes. They've already bought the homes. Let me clarify that. Because this COVID has put us all into a different perspective thinking, like in a different mindset. Because now we have to work, mostly everybody is working from home. It's a remote kind of, working. That we are not working right in the center. We are at our home, we are sitting and we are working online, computers, phones. So this has given everybody a different feeling that yes, we don't have to be right in our house to be near our office to work. We can be away, a lot away, and we can still work. I've seen people working, you know what, they go to their cottages and they stay there because they can enjoy their life there.
Yeah.
And coming back to the topic which you said about the new home buyer, first time buyers,
Yes.
you know what, they have to consider what to do if they cannot afford in the downtown core, in the neighborhood they were looking for because their work was close or something. So what happens is they can move about a little bit out of their comfort zone. And where they don't have that much of a bidding war, where they can afford, their affordability is there. So they can buy there, and because they don't have to come to the office every day now.
Yes.
They are working from home.
Just like
They
me,
can-
like my business, like I can work from home most of the days, and I can live a little far away from the city.
Exactly.
And-
Your example. You are moving such a far, you know,
Yeah.
way out.
Way out.
You know,
Yes.
almost to the, I would say, other end of the Ontario. But you are moving
Yes,
because
yes, yeah. So,
that is, you like that area, affordability is there, there's less of a competition,
Yeah.
and lots of more things. So
Lots more.
I believe that is first thing for the home buyers, new home buyers, or the first time home buyers. Let's not say new home buyers,
Yeah.
put first time home buyers.
first time home buyers, right?
Yeah. And then, you know, the second thing is educating them.
Educating them, right?
They have to be educated. They need the coaching. I can understand there is a lot on the, you know, you can Google and the mother Google is there to answer you, you know, this is a kind of encyclopedia these days. But don't trust everything you read on the Google. You would still need like old-fashioned licensed real estate agents to educate you.
You know, I think that it's a good idea also to is like to make the decision after talking to the mortgage broker or to the realtor, like when you have limited amount of money, because don't listen to the media. Media always say that young people cannot get into the market for next 10 years or 20 years. Maybe they will be renters. So I think always good to talk to the professionals. Same in like my business insurance, when people talk to the neighbors, or I say just give me a call. It's a free call, no. And the same thing. I think a lot of realtors and even mortgage brokers is just a free call. So call them and give your facts, and many times it happens that you end up buying the home and you are capable of buying, because a lot of people are paying rent anyway up to $2,000 per month or more than that into apartments. Even the basement apartments are not less than $1,500 these
Yeah.
days. So, and for that much money, and if you have a little bit of money in your pocket, or you can somehow arrange it, I think that's a good idea, right?
You know, you will hit a nail on the head, Jektar.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot of things we are reading out, which is not correct. So the best thing is to talk to a professional, a
Right.
real estate agent, at least professional, who would guide you what is required in home buying process.
Yes.
It's a lengthy process,
Lengthy process.
but somebody has to teach you. It's not complicated. It's not rocket science. But real estate agents are licensed. They have the education. They have everything before they get licensed. They know what's happening. They are aware of the market. And once you tell them what you need, you know, what are your requirements, they can both, you and your agent can sit down, discuss the things, then they can guide you, okay, now what is the first step? Let's look at your score. Let's get you qualified mortgage-wise. I'm not a mortgage this thing, so I'm not going to say much, but one thing with my experience I can tell you is, it's not you who's being qualified, it's your property also is being qualified. The city you're moving in is also to be qualified. There are too many factors which only a mortgage broker can tell you.
Yes.
As a real estate agent, I can tell you, once we have it, what should you be doing, what is the process of looking into the house. I'll take the stress away from you in buying process. There are lots of incentives outside. We can talk about that in some other episode when you're a first time home buyer.
Yes.
But before we go anywhere else, Jagtar,
Mhm.
I must tell you
Mhm.
who qualifies to be a first-time home buyer.
Mhm.
There's a
Cool.
big myth there also.
Yeah.
People don't understand.
So
People
let-
think anybody who is buying the first time
Uh-huh.
is the first-time home buyer.
It's not like that, no?
No, it isn't.
'Cause that's what we always think. The first time means you're getting into the market first time.
No. First-time home buyer can, anybody
Mhm.
who has not owned a house for past 3 years
Mhm.
till the date of your purchase
Oh, I see.
can qualify to be a first-time home buyer.
Mhm.
Anybody who has not had a title, even your spouse had it,
Mhm.
but you were not on the title, you are a first-time home buyer.
Mhm.
So those myths have to be clarified first. The real estate agent will look into all these things
Mhm.
and then tell you, and then we look, what are your preferences? What kind of a lifestyle you have?
Mhm.
What are you looking into your house? What, you want to move into a small place where you can enjoy the backyard,
Mhm.
or you can just move into a condo where you can enjoy all the other facilities
Mhm.
which you like.
Mhm.
You can move into a townhouse. You like a waterfront.
Yeah.
You may just like to be out on the in the rural area. Anything. So there are too many things. You want what kind of a property you want, what kind of a house you want. Is your lifestyle open to adjust into these things? So that is the thing. When we sit down together,
Mhm.
we put them down on the call and then talk.
And is there any advantage, like government incentives too for the new first-time home buyers?
Chapter there are, but
Mhm.
that is a little bit a different topic. We can talk about
Mhm.
it, not in this one,
Mhm.
but next
Yeah,
time
yeah,
when
yeah.
we talk a bit in detail about what's needed in the first-time home buyers.
Mhm.
So we can talk about that in that.
So when people are like going to get a home, mostly they're talking to real estate agent. So what they should consider before they make a commitment to a professional, and realtor? Should they ask any questions to the realtor before they sign up, or they, or like a lot of people also go with their family members, like or friends. Sometimes they don't search around like who's can be better serve their needs. So how people should decide?
That's a very good question. It's exactly like, people think that they can do a lot on their own.
Mhm.
And as you said, how you should have a list of the questions that you have. There is no silly question.
Mhm.
Anything you have, interview first your real estate agent. Spend some time with your agent.
Mhm.
Ask them the questions what are you bothering in your mind, not bothering you. What are on your mind?
Mhm.
What is, sometimes a person may be very qualified.
Mhm.
You have a very different, pleasant personality, but our personalities may not, agree to each other. Our chemistry may not agree.
Mhm.
So it's no use working with that agent where you feel that you're, like you're very pleasant to each other, but still not complimenting each other.
Mhm.
You need an agent who compliments you.
Mhm.
And you compliment that agent. We both understand. It's like a jigsaw puzzle that you fit into that, thing. And that is what you should do. But the person's experience, person's knowledge, person's aptitude and attitude, they both count a lot. So when you are hiring an agent, it's exactly like you are going out and hiring a lawyer. How do you do that? He's a professional.
Professional, yeah.
You go to a doctor, you want to find out something about the doctor
Mhm.
when you're going. So same is with the real estate agent. But go with the mind that real estate agent is a professional.
So somebody who's full time and also have sold some properties, like I had good referrals, right?
Yeah.
And then I know that you also did work with the builders also. Which builders you worked so far?
Honestly, I've worked with a couple of builders lately.
Uh-huh.
I've worked with the builders before also.
Mhm.
I did with Countrywide Homes.
Mhm.
I've done with the High Castle Homes.
Mhm.
I tried to do something with the Hillview.
Mhm.
I sold with Democratic Homes.
Mhm.
And who else did I sell it with? Now that's a good. I tried with Sky Homes also once in a while, but
Mhm.
that I attended, like I would say that. I did sell with different builders.
So like in-house realtor, right? At the,
Yes, they have a contract with the our brokerages, and I was selling with them, and that's how it works with the things.
I see. So she, sorry, go ahead.
No, exactly what you were going to say, asking about the thing. You have to see there is a difference between the new homes and resale. That also you have to consider what is there in the resale and new home. When you are buying, make sure you think and you talk to your agent, what kind of a property are you looking?
I see.
That also is something to be considered.
Yeah, because there are a lot of new home sales are like these days a bidding war in Toronto and Ontario. Like homes are sold even within a couple of days once their new lots open, right?
Yes.
Right? So it's like a long time ago. I know that I went to your place. Like sometime it was taking months to sell the whole builders' homes, but now it takes only days. Right?
Excuse me. It's not that the builders, depending, because when you are selling custom built kind of a luxury homes, that takes time. But when you are selling subdivision, then it doesn't take. When you have, affordability, people are buying, then. But if you are selling luxury homes, that would take a little bit of a time.
Time, right? Yeah.
Yes. And then as in any market, the market decides what is going to be sold, when it's going to be sold, because there are conditions different. Right now, we are in a market, you put in the market, you get the house out there right now.
So what do you think with the bidding war going on? How you, like if I come to you to buy a home, how can you guide me from not going into a bidding war where I end up paying too much money or end up losing a home but worried about paying too much money? Where's the balance?
That's a very good question, but it's not like, something 2 + 2 is 4.
Yeah.
It's not that kind of a question. It's I would say you have to analyze it, what you're looking at. What's your budget? How badly do you need it? Is it going to be like, break you? No. Bidding war, how far can you go? Because nobody decides. It's not the real estate agents who are deciding the price on that. It's the clients, the consumer who wants the house. They are willing to buy it at that price.
Yeah.
And it's always, when I got my license, I was told the market is decided or the price is decided by a qualified buyer who wants to pay what price. It's decided by the buyer. So it's not the real estate agent who sits and says, okay, this house is listed for $1 million. Guys, please bring me, all of you, offer for 1.3 million. No. It is the buyer who wants it, who wants to see the value in that house. Like as I say, it's in your eyes. Whatever you want, that is how but coming back to the question of the new home buyer, first time buyers, not new home, let's say, or even somebody who's, look at your budget. What exactly is in your budget? Don't have to go out of your comfort zone. You don't want to buy a house and then totally have the, think, my God, I bought this house and then I can't be house rich. You don't want to do that. You want to live and enjoy that house. That property you're buying is for your satisfaction, something you're looking forward to it. It's your dream. And you really want to sit there and dream about in that too.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that you have time for your family, not that you're just a earning machine there, that you're going out, making money and bringing home, making money and bringing and paying the bills.
Yeah.
No, I don't prefer that.
Yeah, because I was talking to some investors too. A lot of investors saying that buying a home is owning a home is liability. You think is a liability or is it an asset, owning a home?
It's more an asset to me. It's where real estate is the only thing. Before I go any further, you mentioned investor. So that is the difference. Category of a client. Investors are not the buyers in the sense that you want to move into. Investors are looking for a return on their investment. What they have invested in that property, they want to get that thing out. When they are renting it out, they are not living in there. That's not their principal residence. So that is a different category of cattle which you are talking. So we are not comparing apples to the oranges.
Yeah.
Investors are totally different category.
Because they prefer people to either you buy 2-3 homes or at least 2-plex or 4-plex and then rent it out and make money. And wherever most of the people buying the home for themselves to live in there and live for long time.
Yes.
And
so that is the people, that category of the people is what we are talking about. We are not talking about investors today. We are talking about the people who want to go and live in there.
But those same investors, sometimes they like doing their own media interviews or YouTube. Even I see that because renting versus buying, right?
Yes.
So they prefer people to rent wherever. What do you view from renting versus buying?
Okay. That's one thing. If you see, when we were discussing before, that you know what, before we go into the market, we have, as a realtor, I would discuss that with them, you know, pros and cons of renting versus owning. I give that seminar. I used to give that seminar on to the people before also. So that is one thing we have to look into it. When you are renting, you can rent. I'm not going to say that you don't rent, but the biggest investment is the money you're paying for your rent. You are paying somebody else's mortgage. So why can't you use the same amount of money into your own mortgage and build your equity? Your house, you can build that equity. It may sound like, you know what, right now it's too much. Go into the thing. At that point, I would say, if you do not have it, invest something. Buy a smaller property where you rent, build your equity, and then you're renting yours. The minute the equity is think that you have built enough equity that you can sell it, get into owning your principal home, buy it, then no renting. Because there are different scenarios, Jagtar, in this thing.
Because I feel that sometimes there should be some different criteria for getting qualified for mortgage too. Like there's some people who are paying almost $2,000 per month from last 5, 6, 7 years, and when they go to get a mortgage, they cannot get a mortgage even which is only $1,500 per month. And I hear stories, they say, how can it's okay for us to pay $2,000 rent, but it's not okay for us to get a mortgage which is $1,500 a month. So there should be some kind of a different criteria also to check. They look at the people's record, like if they can pay $2,000 rent from last 6 years, nobody kicked them out and they are not defaulting on the rent. Why can't they own the mortgage for $1,500 per month?
That's a very lengthy discussion, Jagtar, but first of all, that's not my expertise. I have...
No, but just like an opinion, just like my general opinion.
I will not, because that is not my expertise, which is mortgage brokers, because they have different criteria, how they look at things.
Yes.
You remember, we have an experience recently, learned how the mortgage, you can get in GTA, if a property is sold even 300,000 more, you would still get the mortgage 80% on that with your criteria or qualifications. But if you're out of town somewhere, it's a lesser price, but bidding war, and somebody buys it overpriced, they have a problem. They won't give them 80% because I just learned it myself only very recently, that they see the number of people living there, this population size. That is how they do it. So this is for me also a learning experience. I didn't know it. So that's what I'm saying. Mortgage is not my expertise. I'm not going to touch that topic because I will never speak on a subject which I'm not. You can talk to me about Vastu, Feng Shui, I can tell you because that's my expertise.
That will be different topic in another interview.
No, I'm just saying, that's my expertise. I can talk. Real estate, I can talk. You can talk renting, investing, water properties, new homes, resale, anything I can talk about. Very freely, very confidently, because I have invested my time, my studies, my education into that.
I think that I have one other question regarding real estate. Is like a lot of time, like now is bidding war going on, prices are going up monthly, almost 5-10%, and some people are waiting on the sideline. They say market will crash or price will go down, then they will buy. What do you suggest to people who are still waiting and thinking that market will go down and then they will buy the home?
You know what?
That's a good
Honestly,
question, I think.
that is a good question because I have seen, as I said, I've been almost 30 years in. I have seen the recessions. I have seen the bubble breaking. I have been in that. My experience, it tells me it is not a bubble that is going to be breaking this time. It's not going to be crashing like that. All you're going to do is wait, and if you have right now, market is going to go up. It may stabilize for a while. You know, supposing the houses are at $1 million right now, major price, which I'm not saying it is, but I'm just giving a hypothetical number. If it is $1 million and you are expecting it to come down, it will probably stabilize $1 million for a couple of months, then it's going to go up. It's not going to come down, and then you may not get the same interest rates.
Interest rates.
So, you know, they go hand in hand. The mortgage and the property values are going hand in hand, what you're buying. So make sure that you are, you know, having that kind of a, let's call it a marriage kind of contract, that you are having a very harmonious marriage, that your interest rates and your price, they match. And within, I can give you an example of people who bought last year in November. But right now they are laughing because they've already built a lot of equity in it. A lot of people were scared. They were thinking, my God, you know what, the prices would probably crash, they would come down, this will happen. No, it's gone up. I know it just stabilizes, gonna go stabilize, because the market right now, the thing, they're expecting a lot of new immigrants. The minute the COVID is over, there's going to be influx of immigrants. Prices are going to go up again. I'm not saying, you know, like the crystal ball, but that's what my experience tells me. And this is how it goes on. So if you are sitting on a fence thinking, okay, let's sit down and wait for it, please jump over. Take advantage of the market right now. Build your equity. Couple of years when you are thinking, you will be thinking of buying it, by that time your house prices would be higher and you will have enough equity in your house. So I would ask them to please jump in and take advantage.
Take advantage, because I'm here 29 years now in Canada. Like I see houses, even though they stabilize, but overall it's going up. Even though sometimes it goes down to for $100,000, but next 2 years it even goes further up.
Yes.
And so I think it's a good idea to get into the market whenever you can afford it.
Whenever you can afford it, and as there is a lot of things, you know, like I haven't touched that topic, I'm not too much in favor of it, but a lot of people like to do is rent to own also.
Rent to own.
That is another option. To be honest, I am not a very big fan of that.
Yeah, that's
I prefer people to own, get the title right when they're giving the, you know, when you get a key, you should have your title. It's my personal this thing. But then if it's your comfort zone also, as we were mentioning.
Yeah, that's good.
If you are into that, we can look into that also. We do have that also option open, and we do have investors who are willing to go that much for you. And if you can't afford it, you would be, of course, paying the rent. How much out of that rent is going to go towards your mortgage or your down payment? Let's put it, that's how it works. It's your down payment. They increase, but you're still paying rent. You're still, but you're you know. So I think it's better to have your own house.
So Shay, so how can people contact you? What's your, you can give your phone number and email address?
They can all get back to me at 416-844-8112. That's my direct line.